So scary, right? In summer of 2012, we were in a staff meeting over at the church office, and Joel came to us as a group and said, guys, here in a couple months, I'm going to do a series called Atmosphere. I think we all need to go skydiving. Everybody's like, yes, let's do that. I threw my hand up and said, I'll lead the charge. I will lead the charge. I wanted to go skydiving forever. I'm going to make this happen. Let's do this. So we had it planned for September, and I booked it all. We had like 12 of us going to go skydiving down in Xenia. And as the time got closer and closer, I got more and more nervous. I was getting terrified as the time was getting closer. As a matter of fact, the night before, I did not sleep at all. I was scared to death. So I get to the church office, and everybody's there, and we're all kind of pumped. And it's me and Travis Whitaker was our worship leader at the time. He and I were terrified. I was so scared that, as a matter of fact, we took a caravan down there. We took a caravan to where we'd skydive, and I was driving one of them, and we got like 20 minutes from the place. And I told the guys that were with me, I don't remember who it was, but in the car with me, I said, guys, listen, I'm being completely serious. If I pass out on the steering wheel and I'm not being funny, I am really passing out. Don't laugh and think I'm going to wake up and pull it. You save me because I'm about to black out. That's how scared I was. So we get to the place, and we sit in this little room, the 12 of us, and they play this video. They play this video it's on a VHS tape, and it's our safety instructions. And this guy that's in it has a long beard about this long, and he's monotone. He's just reading this and looking at the camera. And one of the guys I'm sitting next to leans over and goes, "Is this an Al-Qaeda video?" It was bad. It was terrifying. So we go out, and I'm there. We're all going tandem. We're going to have somebody with us jumping attached to us. So we go out, and the guy that I'm going to jump with, he gives me my harness. So I'm putting my harness on. As I'm putting the harness on, he said, here's what we're going to do. When we jump out of the plane, when we fall out, you're going to spread your arms like this. You're going to bend your knees up like this, like you're trying to kick yourself in the butt. And he's going to be attached behind me. I'm like, okay. He goes, and then when we land, well, he said, I'll tell you what we do when we land after we pull the chute. I'm like, why don't you tell me that right now, please? So I'm just scared to death. So Travis then comes to me and said, hey, I told them that you, me, and Jason Wilson, Jason is right back here on the production table, want to be the first ones to go on the plane. Travis is like, I just want to get this over with. So I'm like, all right. So we walk out to this plane, and I get on the plane, and I'm the first one on the plane besides the pilot. And as I get on this plane, we climb in the back of it, and I look down, and everything starts going black as I'm looking towards the front of the plane. And there's two 2x4 bars that you're walking in like this, because the plane's only a little tin can. I'm not kidding you. Like, if you touch the side of the airplane, where you're touching, like just the other side of where you're touching is the outside of the plane. There's no buffer. So we get in there, and I'm crawling like this, and I sit down. You kind of have to like straddle this bar. So I'm sitting there like this. My guy comes in. He sits behind me. Travis is sitting right here. Jason right there, and then two other skydivers are here. They're just going to jump by themselves. So we get in, and Travis, I'm not kidding you, I couldn't see myself, but Travis was white as a ghost, just terrified. Jason, like nothing was going on. Jason just, I'm like, Jason is like a lamb being led to the slaughter. He has no idea what's going to happen. He's just a big dumb animal that's getting ready to be pushed out of a plane. No idea. So we get on, and we're on the plane, and I remember saying, hey, at what point in this flight on the way up can I back out? And nobody answered me. So I thought, okay. So we start climbing, and we took off from a cornfield. A cornfield. There was corn looking out the window. There's corn here, and we're on not even like a paved anything. It's just grass, and you're bumping. And so we take off, and as soon as we take off, one of the guys in the back of the plane, one of the single jumpers, opens the door. And you can see in the video that we took, you see me go, I grab the side like that's going to save me if the plane goes down. Like everybody died except for David because he held onto the sides. But I grab the side, I'm like, what are you opening the door for? And they're like, it's air conditioning. But in my mind, every movie I've ever seen lied to me, because whenever a door gets opened in an airplane, you get sucked out the airplane. And I'm not attached to the guy behind me yet, because you don't do that until you get to 8,000 feet. And we're going to 12,000 feet to jump. I'm sweating again. So we're doing fine, and at one point, Travis looks back at me and he goes, "What are we doing?" Just like that. So sincere and so terrified. And I'm like, "Travis, I don't know, man." That was it. So we get to about 8,000 feet, and the guy's like, "All right, I'm gonna fasten you here." So I back up, and he's fastening to me, and I'm like, "This is cool." And I look over at Travis, and Travis's guy that he's gonna be attached to is a little bigger. So Travis's guy is sitting like this. He goes, "All right, scoot up a little bit." So Travis scoots up a little bit, and the guy puts his legs together and goes, "All right, hop up here." So Travis, and I'm watching, I'm like, "This is funny. I'm too scared to laugh, but this is funny." And Travis is like, "What's that?" And the guy's like, "I'm a little bigger, so you're gonna have to get on my lap." So Travis gets up on this guy's lap. And so he's now humiliated and terrified. So the time comes where they're like, "Here we go." So Jason's the first to go. And I don't even care because I don't even like him right now because he wasn't even scared. Then Travis, and I hear him, you can hear it in one of either my video or his video, you hear him go, "David." I don't know what I was gonna do. And he gets to the end, and I'm telling you, so he's gone. I'm like, "Oh, he was a good man." And so I get to the edge, and listen, I mean, you're standing like this is the edge of the plane, and I'm standing with my toes over the edge, and then I realize, oh, I got gum in my mouth. I'm gonna scream on the way down. I'm gonna land safely, but I'm gonna be dead because I'm gonna choke on my gum. So I go to spit my gum out, thinking it'll go like this. I go, and it goes. And the guy's like, "Are you ready?" And I say, "Yeah, I'm ready." And I'm just like this. I'm like, ready. And then right before I jumped, I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna meet Jesus today." And we're out of the plane. And I won't tell you if I made it or not. I'll leave that for some of you are like, "Oh, did he make it?" You figure that out later. But man, I have never been so terrified in my whole life. I will tell you though, when we landed, again, you can see it in the video, Travis and I are like, "Dude, and Jason, we're like, nothing to that. That was amazing." I called my wife and said, "Hey, can I do it again?" And I haven't been back. If you've never been skydiving, as terrified as I made it sound, it was the most amazing experience I've ever had in my life. It was unreal. So, with that being said, I should have hit that earlier. I was so excited to tell my skydiving. So let me tell it again. All right, so in 2012, today we're going to talk about fear, and I've broken it into two categories, real fear and real fear. And you're like, "What's the difference?" Listen, one is real fear, the other is real fear. All right, so real fear is like your fear of things that freak you out, things you're scared of, phobias, that kind of stuff. Real fear is a monster. It's a monster that impacts your life, it impacts your mind, it impacts your health, it impacts your relationships, negative impact. That's what the real fear is. Now, real fear, for me, this top one, I knew I was going to have trouble saying this. Real fear for me is my fear of, for example, my fear of spiders. I don't like spiders. My fear of wind turbines. My fear of icebergs and whales and dark water. See? Nobody said amen with the wind turbines. Those things freak me out. I don't care what you say. My fear of slightly opened basement and closet doors. That freaks me out. My fear of mirrors. When you're standing in a room where you see a mirror and you're standing where you can't see your own reflection, but you can see into another part of the room that you can't see from where you're standing, that's terrifying. I don't know why, but it freaks me out. So that, and paranormal crap scares me. And I'll give you a story about paranormal stuff that wasn't really, but it was kind of. I had been she was my girlfriend at the time, now my wife. We'd been together about 2 months, maybe a little longer, and we went to her sister and brother-in-law's house for a wedding. They have a big side yard. We had a wedding there. So we go to this wedding, and I had met her sister a couple times and been to their house once or twice. But after the wedding, I told Tab, I'm like, "I gotta use the restroom. I'm gonna run in and use the restroom real fast." So I go inside, I get in there, and there's a line. There's a line of ladies waiting to get into the restroom. I'm like, okay, I will go back outside. So I go back outside, and I tell Tab, I said, there's a line, I'm not gonna go in. She goes, why don't you go to the bathroom that's upstairs? I'm like, no, I'm not going to use that. I can just wait. And she's like, well, you don't want to go upstairs because of that rocking chair. So they have this old, like, not old, but it's a cottage house, adorable little house. And the upstairs is just like one room, and they were remodeling the bedroom. I knew there was a bathroom in there, but there's a chair in there that they told me every once in a while that they could hear rocking, like an old man was rocking in it. I'm like, so Tab's like, you don't want to go up there because of that. I'm like, no, I'm fine. She's like, then go. I'm like, fine, I'll go. So I go up the steps, and you go in, and then you turn, and then you just walk down a hallway, and it's like the roof is like this, and the room is at the end. And so I walk around the corner, and I see the chair in the doorway. I'm like, just cold chills. I'm like, all right. So I go in. So I'm going to turn this way. So I go in, and I see the chair there. The chair is there, and I walk in, and and I know the bathroom's over here. I can kind of see where the door is. And I go in, I just keep watching that chair. And I see the toilet. I'm not going to totally pantomime this next part, but so I keep watching that, because I'm telling you, if that rocking chair starts moving, I'm jumping out a window. So so I'm watching it, and I start taking care of things, and I'll just hold my hands here. And I pee like Superman. Don't say that at church. So I'm watching that chair. I'm like, I should probably check my aim. And I turn this way, and when I turn this way, there's a full-length mirror right here that I didn't know about. And in that mirror was a man about my size, looked exactly like me, but scared the snot out of me. And I go like this. I turn like this, and I go, ah! And I'm not kidding you. I peed all up their wall, like an arch, a beautiful arch. And so I'm toilet paper, and I run downstairs, and I walk outside. Tab can tell there's something going on. And she's like, what? I'm like, She's like, what's happening? I said, I peed all over your sister's wall. She's like, I think I heard you, but you're going to have to tell me that again. What'd you say? I said, I peed on you. She ran taller. She said, that's what happened. That's what happened. That's not the fear I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about real fear, that monster fear, that fear that affects our everyday, that comes into our life, and it's a fear of financial issues. It's a fear of health issues. It's a fear of decisions that need to be made, college students and people making career changes. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear that battles our faith. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the battle of the brain, the combat at the cranium, the scuffle of the psyche. Battling in corner one, you know him well, as he haunts your dreams, lends to your anxiety, and robs you of your joy. Dressed in all black, weighing enough just to crush your spirits, fear. Fighting in the second corner, Hebrews 11:1 describes him as confidence in what we hope for and assurance of what we do not see. Able to move mountains at the weight of a mere mustard seed, faith. Here's the problem. Wow, it's still an echo. Ha! It's off. Here's the problem. Most of the time, fear wins. Most of the time, fear wins, and I'll tell you why, because we don't even realize that there's a battle to be had. We have no idea. We see fear as this monster that crawls out from underneath our bed. He stands up and says, here I am, fear me. We don't know what battle's going on. Married men, have you ever been there? You get home and walk into a fight with your wife that you had no idea you were in. Like, you come home from work, everything's fine. She's like, why didn't you take the trash out last night? You're like, I'm sorry, what's that? I told you 3 times to take the trash out last night. Why didn't you take the trash out? I had to take 17 bags out while watching 3 kids and making your dinner. Why didn't you take the trash out? And you're like, the cat was, do you say cat? Because we don't even have a cat. What are you talking about? You're like, I don't know what I'm saying. I wasn't prepared for this fight, honey. I don't know what to say. And we do anything we can to try and save ourselves in that fight. Honey, do you want me? If you want me to, I will go out and I will bring the trash in and then take it back out. I will do that for you because I love you. And it doesn't work. We got to realize that there's a battle going on. And I'll give you an example of real fear that I faced not long ago that I wasn't ready for. My faith wasn't ready to battle it. And it was this. About 13 years now, I've hosted a show called Cash Explosion. It's an Ohio lottery game show. I host the show on Saturday nights. Done it for 13 years. About 4 years ago, in 2015, July of 2015, they came to me and my two co-hosts. There were three of us that hosted each show. They came to us after we recorded and said, we're going to cut down to one host. For budget reasons, we need to cut down to one host. He said, but we want to keep all of you, so we're going to have you guys alternate every 3 weeks, which means instantly my pay was cut by 2/3. Instantly, just like that. So in other words, I'm not doing a show every week. I'm doing a show every third week, so I'm getting paid for that show every third week. And it just devastated me. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. This is not good. And I had plans to go meet Tab and some friends of ours at a dinner at a restaurant after that. So I leave there, and I'm just, the whole way to the restaurant, I'm thinking, what are we going to do? I have no idea. I pretty much lost a job. So I'm like, okay, just when you get to the restaurant, just fake it, smile, get through dinner, and then explain to Tab later what's going on. So as soon as I walk in, Tab looks at me before I even sit down. They're all there. She goes, what's wrong? I'm like, what? She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. What do you mean? Fine. And I sit down and start eating, and I can see her. She's sitting like diagonal from me, and I'm eating, and she just keeps looking at me. Finally, she says, you're going to have to tell me what's wrong. And we got our friends there. And I told her, and it really brought the room down. It was not a fun conversation. And that was a Wednesday. We were supposed to leave for Myrtle Beach on Friday. And so you can tell she's just instantly devastated with the news. And she says, while we're there, she says, maybe we need to not go on vacation. I said, no, we're going to the freaking beach. We're going on vacation. We're not going to let this stop us. And she goes, I just don't want you to be weird all week long. And what she's really saying is, I know how you get when you stress out over money, and when you stress out over our financial future, and you think there's hardships on the way. She said, it's terrible. I don't like it. I don't want to be around it, stuck in a room, bringing us all down. And it's true. It's awful. I get terrible. I'm not the awesome, fun-loving David that everybody has known, has come to love and know. I mean, I can fake the awesomeness, but man, it hurts. It hurts when I have fear without faith. And don't get me wrong. I mean, first of all, if you're there, you know what I'm talking about. It's dark. Life gets dark, and you feel like there's no hope. And I still go to God in those times, but man, it's weak and it's shallow when I go to Him. You know, you're supposed to use your faith at that moment, and faith is the confidence in what you hope for, and my faith at that moment is anything but confident. My prayers are anything but confident. Am I alone here? Is there anybody else that feels that way every once in a while? Just Joel. Okay. Everybody else, maybe they should be preaching to us, Joel. So it's terrifying, and I hate it. And you know what that says about my faith, about our faith? It's not good. Billy Graham said this: anxiety or fear is the natural result when our hopes are centered in anything short of God and His will for us. Wow, thanks, Billy Graham. Thanks for kicking me when I'm down. But he gets this from a lot of references in the Bible. You know that the phrase, do not fear, or fear not, or do not be afraid, appears over 350 times in the Bible. Some actually say that they argue that it says it 365 times in the Bible, like one for every day. I don't know if that's true, but that would be cool. I don't know if it's true. But as I'm researching this and doing this, I'm thinking, what verse am I going to use? 365 verses to pick from. They're all good. So let's run through all of them. Here we go. The first one, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 41:10. Do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God Himself will fight for you. Deuteronomy something. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:19. Let's just wrap it up there. We're not wrap up. Don't leave. We're not going to get through all 365. But do you hear what he's saying? He's saying, look, I understand that you fear. I get that. I know that you're scared. But you don't have to be, because I'm God, and you're my child, and I got this. You don't have to live this life of fear. Now, I'm not a Bible scholar. I graduated Sunday school with just a GED. Stupid. I shouldn't have said that, Joe. That was dumb. I didn't go to Sunday college, if that's his thing, Bible college. So what I'm about to say is going to sound like it totally contradicts these verses, and it's this. I think it's okay to be fearful. I think it's okay to experience fear. What I don't think is okay is to let it consume you. That's when it's not okay. Fear can be good. Fear can be good. Fear can keep you from doing stupid stuff. I was going to show a video of this, but I'm not, because I know it causes a lot of anxiety. Have you seen, though, the videos of the guys on the skyscrapers jumping from building to building? Not like two-story to two-story, but these guys that use a GoPro and they're hanging off the edge of a building. If you haven't seen these, you've got to watch them. These guys are insane. It's terrifying. 3 weeks ago, was on the roof at my house cleaning out the gutters. And I'm not afraid of heights, but I respect them. We had two roofs, one that's above our garage, then one like this that goes to the second floor. And there's, 6 or 7 feet here from the garage roof to the next roof. So I climb out our bedroom window, and I take a ladder up, and I hammer a 2x4 into the roof, and I brace the ladder, and I climb up onto the top roof. Everything's good so far. Clean out the things. It's 100 degrees outside. Clean them out. I go to get down, and I realize I'm standing on the edge looking at the ladder. I'm like, that ladder is not, it's too straight, it's too vertical. If I get on that ladder, any little bit of movement this way, it's going to catapult me out into the street. The fear of falling didn't bother me. It was the fear of somebody seeing me fly out in the middle of the street, like a car driving, a guy just lands, and that would be embarrassing. So I'm up there, and Tab is somewhere. She got music playing, so I'm like, Tab. And I don't want to yell too loud, because then all the neighbors are going to come out and look at this guy stuck on his, Tab. Caw-caw! Anything. So I'm like, all right, I just got to do this. So the ladder's there, and I do this. And I walk around this side. I kind of push it forward. And I know that the people across the street are like, is this guy line dancing? What is this guy doing on his... So finally, Tab comes out, and she's like, what are you doing? I said, I think I'm stuck. You need to get hold of Sebastian, our 19-year-old who had just left. He needs to come here and hold this. She's like, you want me to hold it? I'm like, no, I don't want you to hold it. So I'm up there, and like for 15 minutes, I'm squatted down like this, making it look like I'm inspecting something. So any neighbor's like, he's not stuck, he's inspecting something. And so finally, after 15 minutes, I'm like, I just got to do it. So I crawled, and I got down. I was fine. But I respected that height. These videos of these guys on these skyscrapers, it's terrifying. But I think it's okay to experience fear, because fear is an opportunity to practice your faith. There's a movie called Evan Almighty. I'm sure you've all heard it. Most of you have probably seen it. There's a scene in it that's absolutely brilliant. Check this out.
Excuse me, are you all right?
Yeah. No, it's a long story.
Well, I like stories. I'm considered a bit of a storyteller myself.
My husband, have you heard of New York's Noah?
The guy who's building the ark.
That's him.
I love that story. Noah in the ark. You know, a lot of people miss the point of that story. They think it's about God's wrath and anger. They love it when God gets angry.
What is the story about then, the ark?
Well, I think it's a love story about believing in each other. You know, the animals showed up in pairs. They stood by each other, side by side, just like Noah and his family. Everybody entered the ark side by side.
But my husband says God told him to do it. What do you do with that?
Sounds like an opportunity. Let me ask you something. If someone prays for patience, you think God gives them patience? Or does he give them the opportunity to be patient? If they prayed for courage, does God give them courage, or does he give them opportunities to be courageous? If someone prayed for the family to be closer, do you think God zaps them with warm, fuzzy feelings? Or does he give them opportunities to love each other? Well, gotta run. A lot of people to serve. Enjoy.
It's an opportunity for us to practice our faith, for our faith to get stronger. How, without faith, would we have a chance to make our faith stronger? Just like he said, if we ask for patience, do you think he gives us patience or he gives us a choice, a chance to be patient? That's awesome. So here's the problem. This is what we want. This is what we want. If we take off our Sunday mask where we walk in here and pretend like everything's good and we're honest with ourselves and we say, you know what, sometimes that fear not campaign isn't enough. Like the fear not for I will deliver you or because I am by your side. A lot of times that's not enough to calm our fears. This is what we want the Bible to say. Fear not, for I, the Lord your God, will never let anything bad happen to you ever. That's David 1989. Year I graduated Sunday school. That's what we want. I don't know why we think that it has to be this way. We're never promised anything like that in the Bible. As a matter of fact, we're told the exact opposite. In Psalms, David, who, by the way, was an amazing man of God, but he feared a lot. He was a bit of a wuss. Another reason why I think it's okay to fear. He said this in Psalms 34:19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. First of all, you can subcategorize your fear in any way you want. But what it comes down to is we fear affliction. We fear affliction, whether it's from finances, health, relationships, the unknown, decisions we make. We fear afflictions. And he says that there will be many for the righteous. I knew I was going to talk about this for like a month now. I knew I was going to talk about this verse. But 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to hear an awesome pastor from New Orleans talk about this verse. And he said something that got the whole room going. He said, this would be a lot easier to take if it said something like, many are the afflictions of the murderers. And the room's like, Many are the afflictions of the adulterers. Many are the afflictions of the liars. It sounds really weird. You can stop doing that. And I'm in the back room like, yeah, that is good. But I would even be just as good as many are the afflictions of those couples that sit on the same side of the table at a restaurant. Weirdos. Sit across from them so you can see them. What is this? How's your food? Is it good? Stupid. Many are the afflictions of those who stop in a roundabout. Listen, I don't get road rage easy, but if you stop in the middle of a roundabout, I'm coming at you like a fighter monkey. Not a fighter monkey, what is a spider monkey? Not a I will fight you like a spider monkey. That's what I meant to say. Many are the afflictions of those who can name all the Kardashians. I'd be okay with that. But he's saying many are the afflictions of the righteous. Dang it. You guys know what one of the most dangerous words in a marriage is? But. 1 T. But. Right? So imagine this. Hi, honey. That dress you're wearing makes you look good, but. Oh, it's going to get bad. Hon, this dinner that you worked all day on is really delicious, but. There's going to be trouble. Hon, I'm sorry for what I said, but. What happens after the but negates what happens before the but. Newlywed men, write that down. That will save you. That is a word, a powerful, powerful word. If something positive happens before the but, after the but, please do not take just this segment without explaining what word I'm talking about and post it. Did you notice the ... at the end of that? Look. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but this is negative, but good news is on the way. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but there are going to be many troubles for the believers, but life is going to be difficult for the Christ followers, but Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. He's saying, what you fear, those afflictions you fear, don't fear those. I will deliver you. He said, you don't have to live in fear. It's a choice. Listen, it's a choice. It's a choice between a life of fear and a life of faith. And I'm telling you right now, when fear comes along, it's time to armor up. It's time to suit up. Because it's a choice between a life of worry, fear, anxiety, depression, imprisonment, or a life of hope and peace and comfort and a life that God has planned for you. He's saying, look, many are the afflictions of the righteous. Those afflictions you fear, I will deliver you. That war that's battling in your mind, I will be your peace. That hell you're going through, I will save you from it. Know that. It's a promise. It's a promise, and you have to know that. Know that so that next time that fear monster rears its ugly head and says, hey, I want to talk to you about cancer. Hey, I want to talk to you about losing your job. You can grab him by the scruff of the neck and say, look, you have no idea what kind of battle you're about to get into. My God's bigger than you, and you don't stand a chance because of that verse. Man, that makes me feel good. One person, woo? Is nobody else fearful of anything in here? Little did I know when I stood on that plane right there, looking over, and I said, I guess I'm going to meet Jesus today. That's when I got it right. That's when my faith stepped in and I conquered fear. Because even in my head, even if I plummeted to the earth and my parachute didn't open, I knew everything was going to be okay because of my relationship with Christ. I got it right then and there. Now listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I fear a lot more than I lead on. And it makes me mad because I believe all this. I know all this, but it's still, I struggle with it. I struggle with it so bad that there's a verse that I'm going to read to you. I'm going to show you how important this was to me. This verse is amazing. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. It's about finding peace in your relationship with God. This means so much to me that I've had it tattooed onto my arm. Your sleep will be sweet. That's how much I needed to be reminded of that. Here's the deal. A little twist here, a twist at the end of the message. This message was for me. You guys just stood here or sat here for the past 30 minutes and listened to a man talk to himself. So I'm choosing, David McCreary, I am choosing today to not let fear consume me ever again. Is there anybody else out here that wants to make that move with me? Anybody? It's a big step, but we have a big God. I'm ready to make that move. I'm going to wrap up with this. I know in this room, Joel mentioned this, in this room, we have friends that are here that maybe haven't begun their relationship with Christ. And guys, we are just glad you're here. We are stoked that you're here. Thanks for being here. So you may be listening to this message and you're like, David, you are a fantastic speaker and you made me laugh. But this means nothing to me because I don't know God, so how is he going to deliver me from it? I get it. So let me give just a little tip to everybody in here, believer and non-believer. This is just a little added bonus, something that I learned. I had a few chances to speak at corporate events for stress management. One thing I learned is that we tend to stress about the what-ifs. These are things that happen in our mind that could happen, may not happen, but we stress out about them, and we move them to the could happen to the absolutely what happened. And if we could just get rid of the what-ifs, we'd be a lot less stressful. We'd fear a lot less. Mark Twain actually said this. I think this is brilliant. I'm an old man and have known a great many troubles, most of which never happened. That's pretty good. I've stressed out over many things that never happened. But if you're here today and you're running from God or you're just keeping him at an arm's length, the what-ifs are great, but it's fleeting. It's temporary. And until you believe and until you accept Christ as your Savior and start that relationship with him, you'll never know what it's like to experience real peace, real comfort, real delivery, real deliverance. So I'm going to pray here. And if you're in the room and you've never prayed that prayer to ask Christ into your life, part of this prayer will be that. You can invite him into your life right now. Start a new relationship with him, and I promise you that fear, it won't go away, but you'll be able to battle it, and you'll win because of this promise. Let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for your promises all throughout the Bible, your promise of delivering us from fear. I pray that everybody in this room right now that experiences fear sometime over the next however long, Lord, I pray that they see that as an opportunity to step up and practice their faith. I pray that you step in, help them with that. Deliver them in the only way you can. God, I pray for the people in this room that don't know you, that are running from you or just haven't turned to you yet. I pray for them right now. And if you're in this room and you're ready to make that move, here's the prayer. It's just as simple. Father God, look, I know you love me. I don't understand everything about the Bible. I don't understand most of it. All I know is that I need a relationship with you. I know that I'm not a perfect person. Nobody was. We were all broken. I pray that you forgive me of those sins, God. I want to be yours. I pray right now to invite you into my life, change me, make me a better man, a better woman. God, I love you. Thank you. God, I pray for everybody in this room that you give them a great week. In Jesus' name, amen.
Silence steals my voice. You understand me. You understand me. And come to me in the valley of unknowns. You understand me. You understand me. You understand me, God. You understand me. So I throw all my cares before you. My doubts and fears don't scare you. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought. So I stop all negotiations with the God of all creation. Because you're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought. You're bigger than all fears. And I believe, but help my unbelief. 'Cause you understand me. You understand me. And help me reach the faith that's underneath. 'Cause you understand me. You understand me. You understand me, God. You understand me. So I throw all my cares before you. My doubts and fears don't scare you. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought. So I stop all negotiations with the God So I stop all negotiations with the God of all creation. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought. Teach me to trust you. Trust you. Sing, I will rest, and I will rest in the Father's hands, and leave the rest in the Father's hands. I will rest in the Father's hands, and I'll leave the rest in the Father's hands. And I throw all my cares before you. My doubts and fears don't scare you, 'cause you're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought. And I stop all negotiations with the God of all creation. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought you were.
David was brought here and has been a part of this team for 9 years since we started, just to make people laugh. I think he can do a lot more than just make people laugh. Don't you guys agree? I mean, he just that was amazing. I learned my lesson. Whenever David says, I have a message, you just got to let him go. Just let him do it. Let him go, man. He has so much to offer. We're so glad you guys are here. And the scriptures say to preach to one another. So whenever like David has a message or someone has a message, like as a preacher, I'm like, oh, I got to preach back. Like for me, this fear thing is like, God says don't fear so many times because he's the only one that can actually say it. Anyone else that tells you not to fear, you're kind of like, well, who are you? You look at God's resume and he says don't fear. That's the one place you should go, I'm going to trust this guy. I'm going to trust this guy. I'm going to lean into my faith. We're so excited about this day. And there's a couple things as you walk out the door, you're getting ready to walk out the door, that I have to tell you about, and I can't remember them until they come up on the screen. So they got to come up on the screen right now. There it is, Camp Rewind. Okay, we have our kids camp this week. Pre-K through 5th graders who are leaving. Sign up your kids, sign up your friends, your kids' neighbor friends, bring people, put them all in your car, drop them off the night of, even if they're not registered, bring them here. God will change them in this room if you just bring them here. Get the little children to Jesus. Do it. Next week, I have a special message that God's been working in my heart called Walk Through Fire. It is a message that's based off this song that's on the new high school record that you need to go listen to. It's incredible. The song's called Walk Through Fire. Go listen to both versions of it and come back next week ready to be inspired. We love you guys. We thank you for being here. We will see you next week.